Welcome to Perth's #1 podcast. You're listening to the Jamo and Dylan Show.
Yeah, we're on the way to Dunsborough, little mad trip with the boys. We're celebrating.
G'day guys and welcome back to the Jamo and Dylan Show. Today is a very special episode. We have a Perth boy. We have Damon the Heat Heta on the show. Welcome back home.
Cheers for having me, boys.
Thanks for making the time. We appreciate it.
It's handy that you grew up around here and you're not too far away at the moment. So it wasn't too much of a hassle to get here, which is great.
Yeah, no, easy peasy, eh? Just all the open roads and the easy parking and the space. It's definitely different than the UK.
Yeah, and we were just talking before the show. You're living in the UK. For those who don't know, Damon is a professional darts player and he is ranked #1 in Australia, which is great.
Yeah, that's the easy job. It's #1 in the world sounds better, but we're yet to get there.
You're not far off though.
Yeah, getting there. I'm in the single digits, so can't complain too much.
Ranked #8, and it's called the Order of Merit, right?
Yeah. So it's a 2-year rolling system on the main Order of Merit, and then we've got all these other rolling systems on the that get you into certain tournaments and stuff like that. But I could be here for days talking about that, and you still won't understand.
Yeah, it's very true. A lot of our fans probably don't know too much about darts and probably don't know too much about you. So it would be great for you to just give us a little bit about yourself, let our listeners know. So our listeners, it's actually quite a wide age range, male and female. So if you could let them know a bit about yourself and a bit about darts and how you got into it as well.
Yeah, righto. Take a seat.
Sorry, that was like 4 questions in one.
Look, so grew up in Maddo, went to Bramfield Park Primary School. Yeah, I think it's still kicking. I think, it's probably updated and got aircon now. I didn't have aircon back then, and 40-degree heat. Oh, yeah, some kids got to go home, some didn't. Yeah. But went there, then went to Maddington High, and then from there a little bit at Seven Oaks. But straight after that, I went straight into a trade. I didn't stick around. I wasn't. I was more of the sports type, more of just hands-on guy. So, I just straight into making some money pretty much. So I got an apprenticeship, did roof plumbing, smashed that out. And then I started my own small company as well, and working for people and picking up contracts here and there. So I did that became life, you know what I mean? And I did start darts at say 14, 15, something like that. So the only reason I got into that was my parents played. I was playing other sports. So I played. I grew up playing rugby league. I played that for a few years, and then I did like a little bit of karate and stuff as well. Basketball, cricket, just pretty much anything I get my hands on. I played softball at a pretty good level. I just enjoyed all sports. You know, I wasn't much into AFL and playing footy, but all my mates played. So I played that for a couple of seasons just to play.
Just to get amongst it.
So that was good. And then from there, pretty much 14, 15, filled in. My parents said, oh, look, we're looking for, can you just fill in for one night and whatever? And so, all right. And because we had a board set up at home, I might have had a chuck there a little bit, but nothing too serious. I didn't really know the game. So I went there and I played. And sure enough, I beat a couple of oldies that's been playing for years and years. And it's like, they were frowning upon it. You know what I mean? Because at that time, kids weren't allowed at the sporting pubs and clubs. There was a tiled section before the bar. You weren't allowed to step over that line. I remember.
So you were in a little section.
Yeah, pretty much. And then so I ended up playing, and I averaged 50 for my first year.
That's not bad.
And I was like, I was pretty. I just had the hand-eye and good at a lot of things, and so I was like. And the only reason I really got into it was because being at that age, I get to stay up till 10 o'clock at night and, chucking some darts at the pub and
it's a fun environment.
Yeah, pretty much. So I did all that and then I played, I jumped into, because I had a mate, Kyle Anderson, and he passed away and he was the one that was at, I went to school with him. And he played darts, and he'd been playing darts since he was 9 or 8 or something like that. So I jumped on board, and he said, there's he pretty much opened it up to me where there's juniors, and you can play for your state, and then you go away, and then you can play for Australia. And I was like, nice. This is nice. So this is cool. So amongst doing softball and rugby, and it was just chockers. So at that, then your life starts ticking on, say 16, 17, and then you're like, what's the importance of whatever? So I wasn't pretty much knew like I wasn't going to make it as a rugby player like to the next level. I was good, but not great. Yeah. So and then I didn't go to the proper schools for it, or I didn't go to. So it felt like I was always on the back foot already. Yeah. So I was like, oh well, look, I'll give this darts a go, and so I made the state teams pretty much straight away, and I played in the juniors, and I played in the men's state team, and then I ended up making the Australian team for 1 year as well. But after that, it felt like that was it for darts. That was probably it for me. So then I just come back, and then like I was very work orientated, very job driven, very money driven, and I wanted to, all right, getting married, I'm building a house, and I've got to get life sorted. So I just played the darts one night a week and stuff like that. And then after that, it wasn't until 2018. I mean the PDC, the main darts, they done a World Series. I think it started in 2010 or 2011, and they came over to Australia to play, to boost the game and put on like an exhibition pretty much. Mm-hmm. And everyone's going, oh, you get to, in the dart scene, I was like, you get to be on TV and you get to do this and that. And like I didn't follow darts really, so I was keen on it, but I didn't really know the players, and I didn't know how it really worked in the other side of things, because there's two different associations and stuff like that. There's another story. But
do you think that was like a benefit in a way, you being a bit more naive about it than others? Like, was there less nerves and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's not be all end all for darts. You know what I mean? I wasn't at that level just yet, or at that stage just yet. So like I said, when it come to 2018, I ended up being in the World Series before that, and it was just like, yes, I get there and I get to play, and it was all a bit of experience and stuff like that, and I enjoyed it. But I never really seen anything after that going, oh, I wonder if I could do professional. And it wasn't until 2018 when they came over, and I ended up, I've won a couple of games. And then I won, and I was speaking to the professionals, Gary Anderson, Michael Smith, and I was speaking to them, the 2018, and going, and then the missus, and it was just us four at a table before going out to play pretty much for a couple of hours, and they just go, why don't you give it a crack and see how you go? The life's like this, and you get to travel the world, you get paid well, I'm like, oh, might see how it goes or whatever. But then it was pretty much them convincing my missus to go, all right, give this a full crack. And so then I ended up doing that following year. I would go, all right, I'm just going to work a bucket load and play darts. And what I wanted to do before even thinking about going over and giving a crack was play the Australian circuit. So on the DPA side of things, so that's on the professional side of things. So I was like, all right, I'll go do the DPA. If I'm not number one or number two, then I'm not going to bother, because the UK is next level. There's like, for every one person here that's averaging 80 plus, there's 200-300 there that are averaging 80 plus.
So easy. The gap in quality from here to there is still quite big.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it goes to show when they do come down, or some players do go there to try get their tour card, and it's only it's a tough gig. Yeah,
because that's what you were saying. Making it here as a professional isn't really a thing for full-time money. No. So you have to make that jump and go over there and play and put yourself up against the best. Yeah, it would be lovely for it to be, you know what I mean? Then, I'd probably be home playing. You just can't do it. It's just not there. Yeah. So, but the game it's still growing, and it's still getting massive, like even now. And over there, and especially like Germany and Belgium and Holland, and they're all for darts, and it's next level. I've never seen anything like it. It really opened my eyes the first time I went there. I went to a tournament, and it was like 400 or 500 people at a local tournament. Yeah, like, oh geez, this is crazy. And then, but compared to home, if you just went to a local comp like today or something, or tonight, or if there was one on, you'd probably get like 32 people max. And it's just different. It's very different. So 2018, 19, that's it. We did the Australian circuit. And I got to number one, and I done it pretty, I don't want to say comfortably, but I was ahead of everyone else pretty much. And I could see in my game where, I gave it my full attention, so my game did rise up that bit. Yeah. And then I knew straight away, I knew that was going well at the start. Then that 2019 year, when the
when they coming back down, I was in because I was number one. I was invited to play in the World Series, but before that, there was an Australian Open on the other association, and that was quite a big deal as well. So there was 2 players from England that came over to play in that. It was Jim Williams and Scott Mitchell. They came to play in it, and I ended up winning that. Like, and I didn't really know who they were either.
Where was that one? Is that Brisbane?
That was in Moama.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like I said, there was 2 different associations, and that was their biggest one of the year. And I only got through on that for qualifying through something else, and got the gig. So happy days.
And at that time in your career, so this is like 2018, 2019. How much were you practicing throughout the week?
Yeah, I just as much as I could.
Yeah.
I'd like to think at least an hour a day. I think that's pretty much. Only because when I was working, like I worked flat out. I was sun up till sundown. So when I'm getting home at 6, 7 o'clock, I'm like, oh, all right, no, I've got to put that hour in.
Got a better work rate than us, I'll tell you that.
Well, I just knew what was on the line, so I just went for it. And then so I won that, and then the following week was the Brisbane. So, and then I went, so from there, I went back to work, did like 10, 12-hour days, flew out on like a Thursday, played Friday, Saturday, and like ended up obviously winning that. And then I went back to work flew back for work the next week, and then I flew over to play, I think it was like Melbourne.
Yeah.
Won my first game there, then bailed out the second game and whatever. I played all right. And then, went back again, work, and then flew out to Auckland on the Thursday and played the Friday then, and I could just feel it, I was gone.
Yeah.
I just thrown that much darts for the last month that I was like, I need to, obviously, to build that up, you have to be darts full time, don't you?
Sure.
So I just rode my luck, so to say, or like everything, just happened for me.
Yeah.
And I was, so I knew that, like, all right, bit of cash in the bank and all that, and that was the plan, to go over there and not rely on anybody, because there's a lot of players that have managers.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to take a cut as well. But then when we looked at the scale, at that time, we looked at the scale and the numbers and what people are making, and it was like to be top 64 might not even be enough still. Like, I would earn more money back here.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we're not going to just go there just to be comfortable. You want to be, doing really well on the money side of things as well. But we're giving it our full attention for 2 years. Whether I got there or not, we're still giving it the full crack. Yeah. Because the worst thing that could happen is just come back here and go back to roofing.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the goal there. And it was great that she was on board. And we don't have kids, so that made life very easy. Yeah. And we have a family that live at our place, so they looked after the house while we're gone. We just literally, packed our bags, clothes, just went and, gave it a full stab.
It's been 5 years now.
5 years. It's an absolute mental.
So has it worked out better than you thought it would have? Or did you always believe that you would be sort of in this top 10, say?
I was very unknown, I think. I have goals or I have things, but hard to believe that, by this time I'm going to be number 4 in the world, and that's good. Like, it's always just an out there dream, isn't it? It's not going, no, I believe this is going to happen. And it's like, so I set little targets of 60. So I was like, all right, so in 2 years, I've got to be 64 to keep your card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the goal. And I did that in my first year, got to 60. I was like, I've set the bar a bit low here. But no, I think it just came down to, I stopped work like once I left. I worked right up till I left. Literally the day before, and I had a job going, and I got it to a certain level, and then I had to leave one mate just to do the finishing touches pretty much. And then after that, I had everything finished, everything planned. I was like, all right, next day I'm off to England, and I don't know when I'm back. So I went there, and then I did the Q school and got myself familiarised. But I just played, I practiced. I went from 1 hour a day practice to like 4 hours plus a day practice.
It got to be your full attention.
Yeah, that was it, and that's all I did. And not only that, because I had such a physical job, I didn't keep up with the physical stuff, and I was just eating full English breakfasts every day. I couldn't get enough of it, and I'm just like, smashing bacon and eggs every day. And so that changed eventually down the line. But I just couldn't, I was like, I can't keep doing that. And that's just an easy slipped into lifestyle that could happen just from like the darts and the dart scene. I played, I did all that practice and Q school, and I just found that playing with all better players, my game started upping as well.
Yeah.
And because I was practicing along with it, I was picking up great habits rather than bad habits, and things were just kept projecting, going up and up and up, and I was like, all right, I'm in the mix here, and this is good. And then, you know, I win my first game on the pro tour. I get in the room and you got all these pros everywhere and everything. It's a bit, how you doing? But I was lucky. I was very lucky. My mate, obviously Kyle, was there, so he introduced me to his management company, and all the players that he managed, and they all sat at there and welcomed me in to sit at their table. So straight away when I walked into the room, I sat with a bunch of guys that I sort of knew, you know what I mean? Because they knew my mate, and then he's spoken about me as well. And so, I felt like very comfortable straight away, where if you're fresh on the scene and didn't know anyone or anything, you're going, oh, where do I sit or what do I do? And then you're not comfortable straight away.
It sounds a little bit like high school, doesn't it?
Yeah. What table can you sit at?
Literally, and they act like high school kids too. Don't worry. A lot of banter go on there, that's for sure.
That's sick. We were talking just before we recorded about how darts has grown recently and how I've gotten into it and how Dill's gotten into it and how just much it's exploded recently. And one thing that I would love to see is the PDC come to Perth. Now, that might be way down the line in the future, but could you see that happening potentially?
The thing is, it's happened before.
Okay.
I don't know if you know, but it happened. It was one of the first ones when it came over, and it came here for about 3 years, I'm going to say. So they had it at the Challenge Stadium, which was perfect. They had tiered seating, and it was like a good feel, you know what I mean? And people on the floor tiered, and then it was packed. It was really good. It was a great atmosphere, and I remember that as well. I didn't play in it, but I went and watched it. I watched Kyle, and I watched a few other boys and cheered them on and whatever, and it was brilliant. The last time that they had it here, they had it at the Exhibition Centre. Convention Centre. What is it? The one in the city there?
Same.
Yeah. So they've had it there. There was no tiered seating.
Right.
It's like high ceilings.
Yeah.
And it could have filled, I don't know, 7,000 people or probably even more. And that's what they opened it up to, rather than having putting up a tier and just like closing it off to bring in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
No, they had it opened. And I think they might have only had, I don't know, 2,000 people if you're lucky.
Do you reckon that killed it?
100%. And not only that, the venue have their own security, don't they?
Yeah.
So they don't know what the darts is about, like especially when you watch on TV and in the UK and when you're there. So when they had their own security, I don't think they knew what to expect. So once people started, everyone came in dressed up and stuff like that. There was that going on as well, so that was good. And there was no real chanting and songs, and because it's fresh in the scene, isn't it? They don't know their thing, and so. But if someone did try to start something or just like get up and whatever, the security were onto it. Take your seat.
Because they didn't understand.
Yeah, they don't realise. So I was like, so I felt like that just killed it, and I sat in the crowd that year, and I've just gone, nah, this is crap. There was too open. It was too, there was no atmosphere, and that's what killed it, I think. And that's why, but if you got the numbers and it all comes down to numbers and money and all that as well, doesn't it? So I think someone would have to come to the party with the money side of things. And but I think it would be brilliant. I'd take it back to the Challenge Day. I don't know if it's still there or if they've changed it all, I'm not even.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't really go that side of the river. So
no, but it would be cool. Like, I'd love to go to an event live, and we went to the UK together in August. I don't know if there were any events on at that time in England, because we would have loved to have gone. But no, it's just we love the atmosphere, love the sport, and we wish that it came here. Because they do go to over east.
Yeah,
right?
so we've got the Wollongong. That's on, I think it's like the 8th and 9th of August.
Yep.
And then the week after it's in Auckland.
Is that a good vibe when you get to come back to Australia?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I just play the part. And they're all for me, they're all singing us in the crowd, because in the halftime breaks and stuff. Yeah, Wollongong's a nice arena there. They've got the tiered and it's filled and it's packed all the time. So it's that's why it's probably always going back there, because it's packed all the time, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And they're just playing in between the songs and the crowd are singing that, you know what I mean? And they got the crowd's getting so much better. I think, more are getting involved in the dart scene and know what it's about, and then they start and getting that party atmosphere, and that's all it's about, just going out with your mates, having a good time, and then, you're probably having a little sneaky bet on the darts as well, but what you want to see is, you got the big guns coming over. You want to smash them. You want to see the underdog. You want to see the Australians get through. You want to, and that's just, So if more stuff like that happen, the more, exposure it would be. You know what I mean? So that's what, and I realised that straight away. Once every time I've done some good things over there, and it does get played back here in the media and stuff like that, I noticed when I come back and I'll go out to dinner or wherever I'm going to, someone might you're that darts player, aren't you? Oh, mate, get a photo. And where I realised from the start when I was coming back, there was none of that. There was none of that. But now, I'm noticing more that people are recognising the sport and And I think it's more of the financial side of things that get more people interested, going, wow, you actually can make money doing that. And that's the reaction I get when I need a haircut now, but I go get a haircut. And, with the barbers, they talk to you, don't they? And you think, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I throw darts. What? It's like, I throw darts. How much money can you do doing that? Rah, rah, rah. And I was like, well, I live in England and rah, rah, and it's good. And, so it's not a bad wage. And, so
that's unreal.
And they spin out. And it's like, wow, didn't even know darts existed, really.
No, that's so cool.
Living in the UK, did you find it easy, like as soon as you landed, fitting in over there? And do you enjoy living in the UK? Do you miss home?
Yeah, at the start it was hard. I actually, because we went in end of October, so November. At the start, we just did a little bit of hotel hopping. I just went to tournaments. Wherever tournaments were in the country, I just drove there, played in that, drove there. Like when I needed to get that experience, and I needed. So we weren't really going, we need to be settled right away, because I didn't have a visa at the time. Yeah. Until you have to be a professional to apply for a visa, and because I was over 25, I couldn't just apply for like a working visa or something. I had to wait till I got a card to do that. So we were just hotel hopping for the first 7 weeks. So that ate a bit of the budget as well. It wasn't very pretty. But but I did it, and I did quite well, to be honest. I won some local comps. I was picking up like £1,000 for a day here, and I was £500 there. I was like, this is crazy. Like, I've just earned a week's wage in two comps. Like, that's insane. I just blew my mind and how many people were going to these comps and stuff. So I did that, and I had the Worlds to play in December time. So I went to the hotel there and then be all set up for that. I ended up getting a rental in the Midlands area. We just it doesn't matter where I live. So we just picked. All right, Kyle lived not too far from Nottingham area, so we looked for a spot around there, and then that way I'm close to someone that I know. And so perfect. Got this place. Got a 1-bedroom flat, fully furnished, and I think we paid like £500 or £550 a month, which was pretty dirt really cheap. Yeah, but like it's a 1-bedroom apartment.
True. Yeah.
And then we did that, and I played some of the season, and then COVID hit, didn't it?
Yep.
Oh wow! So once we heard that, and people were like, "Yep, come home." Yeah, we just booked a ticket. Once we heard and seen on the booked a ticket. Next day we're on a plane coming home, and then I was back here for like 3-4 months. Yeah.
So did that halt all dart events as well?
Yeah. That stopped everything. You couldn't do anything, could you? So I come back home, had to do like 2 weeks isolation, and I just went straight back to work after that. Pretty much, I did the same thing. I was like, well, I might as well make money while I'm still here, and so I did that. But I only did. I worked for someone. And for like Waratah roofing, and all I did, I was like, I'll just do my 8 hours, 8 and out the gate. Pretty much that was it, because I knew I'm going back to play darts. So because I was only doing 8 hours work, when I got home, doing my 2 hours, 3 hours practice, because that's all I was focused on was just darts. I'm like, all right, I've had a taste of it. I know what it's about. I didn't have a great start, but I was playing well, and I was losing games to like higher quality players, and I was playing well, and I was like, I need that little bit of edge. I know what it's about. Boom, I was back on the board, and my routine sort of changed, like my practice routine, or I picked up little things here and there rather than doing what I was doing before, and I just grew with the game pretty much. And
was it like that? Was it one aspect of your game that needed improving, or was it like across the board?
I think it was just more broad.
Yeah.
So more or less. at the end of the game, the checkout part. So just picking up numbers straight away. All right, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And so I did a lot of checkout practice games because that's where I found most of it came down to was, scoring. Once you got that phase in your game, it becomes almost robotic or almost normal. And that's that's pretty much the easy part. I mean, if you haven't got it, the scoring down packed at times, you start to struggle a little bit, but you'll find it. I think it's just you have little patches in games, but it's when it comes to the crunch. It doesn't matter if you scored well or not. If you've got a shot to win the game or to win that leg, you're going to go for it. That's all that's important. All the rest don't matter then. And it's just the way you think about things, I think. But I think it was just putting the time in. I did change my throw a bit where I was very methodical before, but now I've got like a rhythm throw or a bit more of a rhythm. And that's just due to, I think, practicing and just going round in circles. And I've just picked it up a bit quicker. Yeah.
One thing I noticed, it was I was doing some research, as we do, a very professional outfit here. The game that you played against Luke Littler where you beat him at the UK Open, I noticed with your darts throw, and this came from a YouTube comment, it was that in your left hand where you're holding your other two darts, you're rolling it down to your fingertips as you throw with your right hand.
Oh, right.
You don't even know that.
Nah.
It just happens. So when you're throwing your first dart, your left hand is rolling the dart down to your fingertips so you can switch it over to your right. And someone in the comments said like how incredible that is, that it's just muscle memory, that I guess you practice so much that you're like a gun, you're reloading.
Yeah.
So that's a funny little thing, isn't it?
I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, thanks for telling me now, because I'll get up there throwing darts
Now you'll be thinking about it in your left hand.
I was like, I should be thinking about going for this. Nah, hang on. Yeah, it is rolling.
Maybe only think about that in practice.
I know,
On the stage, don't think about us.
There you go.
I've got a couple of like quick fire questions here that we put together. Your favourite moment in darts so far?
Winning the World Cup, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one, especially for Australia. Like the first time, and Simon as well. Like he deserved it after the career he's had, and it was I didn't realise what I'd done until just come back and did me thing, and I was like, brilliant. And that's when I realised as well that time that I had to. Get on the treadmill. That's it. I did the celebration and my shirt come up a little. My friends just took the piss.
Really?
The ones back here like, look at this fatty jumping over. I was like, no.
That's unreal. That's probably the first time that I ever saw you. Was on TV. The news had it. Whitlock and Heta get it done for Australia. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
And even though I wasn't involved in the darts world whatsoever, I still felt pride. I was like, like we did.
It's like watching like Olympics or any other random sport.
It doesn't matter if you see Australia winning.
We're the best in the world at that. Yeah, of course we are.
Another question. Who are your favourite players in darts? They can be current, they can be past, whatever.
Yeah, so my best mate was Kyle.
Yeah.
And obviously he passed away. But now, I've got I got Jim Williams, who I practice with. Yeah, he's a good egg. He only lives down the road from me, so every Tuesday we have a chuck, and he's down to earth. You know what I mean? And
nice.
So I hang around with the sports management company and all them guys, and Mac Elkin, the manager, and stuff like that. But my wife. Yeah, my wife's my best friend, I guess. We travel, we do everything together, pretty much. I'm not away from her very rarely, so
Coming up to 20 years, I think, or is it 20 years that you've been with your wife?
Yeah, we've been since we were 18. So shit.
Yeah, I saw it on
quite
Twitter.
some time.
We were doing some research and we saw that you've been together for 20 years, which is unreal. So well done to you too, because it's not easy, is it?
Yeah. It is if you don't have kids, mate. Nah.
Top 3 blokes on the tour that you'd love to go on a night out with. So just the most fun and whatever.
Yeah. All right. So probably if you're going out, Dave Chisnell.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will get that.
Yeah.
I think who would I think? I think Joe Cullen. He'd be he's a.
I've heard a lot of blokes say that he's one of the funniest.
Yeah, he's pretty funny, and I think I don't know. I might maybe Aspinall. He's just a lad's lad. Yeah, he's he's that guy, and he's pictured as that. So I think that there would never be a dull moment. Let me tell you.
That's unreal. I want to talk about your walkouts as well. One thing that I love about you and what you do with your walkouts is you tailor it to wherever you are. So like I saw in Amsterdam, you did the Links Retch or something. Yeah. They do that for the World Cup and for the Euros and stuff. And when the Euros happened recently, we did a sweepstakes and I had Netherlands as my sweepstakes team. So obviously I was getting around them. Yeah. I saw all the social media clips of them jumping from side to side. Yeah. The walkout song that you used. Yeah. So what is like your thoughts behind your walkout, and is that a way for you to get the crowd on your side? Like, what are your thoughts behind walkouts?
Yeah, it was for myself when I started this, or not. I wouldn't say started. I feel like I didn't just go, all right, I'm going to do this. It wasn't just a set thing. It was what I did. I looked back on some games, and the games that I was winning, a lot of them were when I was having a bit of fun. When I wasn't so rigid and focused, and because I remember when I first started and stuff like that, and when I played stage games and that, because we don't get that exposure, the stage exposure, but over there you got a lot of chances, and a lot of chances to play in bigger crowds and stuff, where here you couldn't. So I didn't have that exposure. But yet I found that once I was having fun and watching the games that I did, I was playing well. And I was like, all right, I need to like do something, or I was interacting with the crowd before getting on. I did a little dance at one time, and then and it wasn't until I went to a Euro tour in Munich, and I was like, I want to change it. I want to change my song. And this was at backstage before I'm about to go on, like a couple of hours before. And the main dude from PDC Europe, he goes, "Oh, perfect song for you. Use this, rah rah rah." I was like, okay, so I googled it and what it was and what it's about, and it's about like I think it's about prostitute in there or something. And I was like, oh no, all right, well if you've allowed it, mate, okay, we'll go for it. And it's a song that's within that area. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what's a German dance or something that can go along and whatever, and I was like, oh, all right, cool. And then another guy goes, oh, we'll grab a hat from the crowd. He said you could use this and. Okay, chuck it on, whatever. Yeah, we'll give it a go. And yeah, sure enough, they've played this song. It's called Scandal am Sperzabik, or something like that. Anyway, and then sure enough, the whole crowd knew like all the words and the chorus, and they're just going, man. I'm like, how good is this? Yeah. Like, it worked well. So I've gone up there and I won my game. I played all right, and I'm like. Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, so next week I was playing in Austria. I was like, oh, what do Austrians do? I'm thinking of skiing and snow in the Alps. So I was like, all right, I've got to find a skiing song that's German or Austrian because they speak German over there, and it come with a little dance and that. I was like, all right, I'm getting some skis and some goggles and let's go for it. And yeah, sure enough, that all worked down a treat as well. I'm like, it wasn't really for the crowd. It was more for myself, just to be relaxed and before getting up there. And then once I'm up there, I do my 9 practice starts, and all right, I'm ready to go now. Nice. All that's out. I'm settled. I'm happy. Let's go for it. And it's more of a mindset for myself. And I just went along with it for a bit there. It's and that's all it was. It was never. A lot of people like to go, you're doing it for attention, and you're doing it for bad reasons or different goals. And I was like, well, no, I'm literally doing it just for myself because that's how I feel. And now with the walk-ons and stuff like that, I'm not doing so much different ones. I'm keeping the Links and Rex because I think it's a brilliant one. All the crowd know it. There's a German version and a Dutch version. So pretty much most of the Euro tour is done with that, and it just gives people now to relate. Yep. So once they hear that song, they know that's Damon Heta, the dart player. You know what I mean? And so if I have the same sort of thing going on, and that's what I'm trying to do, like in England as well, just keep the same thing now, and just people know when they hear that song, oh yeah. That's the heat. Yeah. That's the nice. So it's all about being a character, isn't it? As well. So you got to have character, don't you?
That's awesome. Yeah. Just on your nickname, the Heat. Wikipedia says that it's just your last name flipped around. Yeah. Is that what it is? Yeah. How did that come about?
Yeah, it was. So I've had it at the start. I did have some stupid name. Like I put in the Crusader. Oh, and I was like, oh yeah, it's all right. It worked. All right. And I'm like, and then getting down the track, I'm like. Yeah, it's just not me, is it? Yeah. It's just not me. I mean, it's a good name, but it's just not me. So I went to my mates, a few mates' places, but I went to one of them, and just, for a whole weekend, all right, the goal is we've got to come up with a proper nickname, and I'm going to stick with it. All right, yeah. And we just rambling on. And my other mate was dead set on, you should be the power tool. I'm like,
The
what?
power tool's crazy.
I was like, what? I was like, nah, mate, you're missing a trick. It's got to be. I'm like, no, it's not happening.
No.
So, and then the heat just made sense, right? You know what I mean? I'm a roofer, Australian, heat, like just everything worked. My last name, obviously, as well. The only downside to that is that there was a previous player. He's not been on tour for years and years, and his nickname was the Heat.
Right.
Yeah. And his walk-on song was "The Heat Is On." Like, I'm not all right. I'll get the name because I think it works, and he's not in the scene, so it's like, well, yeah,
It's
can't.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all right. I think it's all right, but I'm not going to use the walk-on as well because
Yeah.
then it looks a bit like, come on,
Yeah.
mate, come up with your own crap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so and that's where just mix it up and see what works, what doesn't work, and then I was just obviously at the moment I'm still flicking through, going, what for the English side, what really works and what like sort of gets on, like having the heat in it or fire or flame. Yeah, so I'm still yet to. I did use at the moment I've got Fallout Boy, Light 'Em Up, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a sing song. It's more of just a groove song, you just singing. But yet, the crowd over there, they love a sing song, don't they? And that's what it seems to be at the moment. Is everyone, if you've got one that you can sing to, the crowd seems to just carry on after the music's been cut down. So you've got to, I've sort of got to come up with something like that, or so any options you let me know.
We've had to go through it ourselves because, like we said, we're doing a darts night with the 10 of us. So we've all, Jamo's made everyone pick like a nickname and a walkout song. Yeah. So we've all had to go through it and pick our own and try and give that a go.
I haven't told you yet, but Evan, one of our mates, he's bringing a smoke machine.
Is he?
So we're going to walk out of the smoke into the backyard.
It's just going to be literally over here.
Yeah, it'll be so good.
That's funny.
But yeah, we're still...
you need to bring in a walk-on girl as well, do you?
Yeah, we'll bring our girlfriends.
That's crazy.
But yeah, if you've got any ideas for nicknames for us, that would be good.
Oh, wow.
So, Dylan Sacamano. At the moment, what do you have?
The sniper
Dylan
at the moment.
Sniper Sacamano.
But it's literally because GPT. I've just named me 30
AIs.
AI, and
right.
I'm trying to go through.
So the sniper is the dude I played in the Worlds the first game.
Okay.
Yeah, his nickname was a sniper. So,
It's a decent nickname though.
Yeah.
He any good?
Well, I beat him, so can't be too great.
And then I'm Jamo Lennon. I don't know what I can do. I think I've got Jamo Lethal Lennon at the moment, but
Lethal.
yeah. Or I can go. This one's a bit of a joke, like a piss take one. The Precision Print.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. If you've got any, just let me know.
That's all right. Yeah, the Precision Print.
And then we've got walkout songs as well, but I've got all the boys to send them in to me privately, so no one else knows what the walkout song is till the night.
Oh yeah.
But I made sure that they're all like sing along, so all the boys can get around it and hopefully create an atmosphere in the backyard, which will be cool. Yeah. I have to let the next door neighbours know because it'll be a bit rowdy that night.
That's
right. Yeah. Are we going a bit R-rated as well, or what are we thinking?
MA plus, MA 15.
I was going to ask. So you do a lot of travelling with work. What are your favourite places you've been to, tourist-wise, and then also to play at? Sort of best cities, venues.
I'd say. All right, so with what I'm doing, obviously I only get a certain amount of time off in the year. So when there is that 2-week break, or like we might get a 2-week break or something like that, or 10 days or something. Yeah, there's one, we went to Iceland. That was like, I'd never even thought of Iceland until like moving there going, oh, why don't we, we'll go for a trip here. So it was only like a 3-hour flight or whatever it was. And then like Iceland, you just drive around one road. You pretty much could drive it in a day if you really wanted to. But yeah, we just did a week there, and it's brilliant. I really liked it. It was very scenic, very, you got the volcano stuff, and then you got like the all the ice and it's next level. It's something that I would never have thought of seeing. It's insane. And not only that, some of the tournaments that we go to, say like if we're doing 2 or 3 back-to-backs in in like Holland or Germany or stuff. Yeah, instead of flying out for 2 weeks in and out, we'll just drive, get on the Eurotunnel. You just drive on the train, and then the train goes underwater, get down that side, half an hour, boom. And then we got a car over there, and we just go wherever we want. So, we did the darts, and then we had like a 2 week break or a week break or whatever. I think it might have been 2 weeks. So we're like, we'll go to Switzerland for 10 days, and then did a bit down there. And then on the way back, there was a tournament one of the tournaments in Germany. So we just, stopped by, did the tournament, and then carried on back through to the UK. I was like, how good's this?
Yeah,
like,
awesome.
I've just driven through like probably 5 countries, and it's absolutely insane. But I've been to America a few times. I don't mind America. I like it there. But for darts, each is different. Each is iconic, I think, in their own right mind. So my favourite as a spectator, if I was a spectator and going to watch the darts, I would go to the UK Open in Minehead out there. I mean, it's a holiday place and stuff like that. As playing conditions, it's probably not the best.
Yeah.
Is it open air, that place? Or?
Yeah, so it's played in a tent, in a massive circus tent, and it could get breezy in there, and it's a massive stage, and and it's just a massive area. But if with the UK Open, they've got 6 streaming boards, and they're all in a different bar area. So they've got 6 boards pretty much next to each other, and then there's a barricade, and then there's just all the people like watching within 2 meters or not even that, and they're like near where you're playing, and they're just screaming and carrying on. It's like being in a farm shed. I don't know. They're just all going at you. It's like, and obviously they're cheering about 4 boards down, and you're playing, and you're like, what? Like you got to be onto it. If you're not onto it, and something's going to tick you off from there, you've got Buckleys of having a show. So.
How long do you reckon it's taken mentally to adjust? Because I guess every place you go to has a different atmosphere, different crowd, different environment. I'm sure that sometimes you'd be getting stick from the crowd as well. Like, how do you go mentally in like managing that? Yeah,
being Australian's hard. Okay. You're not off to a good start there,
especially being in England as well.
Yeah, that's it. Because there's that little but it's harmless. You think, it's banter. A lot of people would be just banter about it, but you could easily turn the tide and be like, nah, this is hate, and then you start doing it, and that's where it gets. Yeah. That's where it will be like. It feels like it's a personal level. Yeah. And that's not what you got to do. So that's where you do got to know your crowd a little. I remember that the World Championships is when I first come on, it was the World Championships is a football orientated party crowd, because it's the Christmas parties and that. And a lot of them weren't there for the darts. They're there for the party. They're there, get on it and have a great night, and win, lose, and whatever. And I remember that getting, every time I got announced was from Australia, and then the booze started. Right. If you didn't mention that, half the people wouldn't have known. Right? And then it would have been a different story. But that happened. So, but now, I just said this earlier about the crowd at Ali Pali. Oh, brilliant. I didn't get the booze and the whistling and the whole. I don't think many people did. Like, you might have, if you ticked them off, then you are going to get it. Yeah. But if you didn't, and you went along about your game, or you did something well, they'll just cheer you on. And I feel like there was like quiet moments because they were invested in the game. Yeah. And it was like, you can feel that it's changing. Like, the atmosphere.
Did it feel like the purest set of darts fans, like that they're
not like they were good, right, but they're still there for a party and stuff like that, and you know what's online, what's on offer, and every time someone what really was interesting or like funny was that every time someone started off with a 180, then the crowd are invested, because they had 60 grand that they could get as well. What I mean? So they were.
Can you explain that for those who don't know?
So this year, the Paddy Power, it was for they were donating for prostate cancer. Yeah. So what they were donating for, every 180 hit was £1,000, but yet for every 9 data, it was £180,000 split. Wow. So it was £60,000 to the player, and then it was £60,000 to someone in the crowd, and then £60,000 to prostate cancer. Yeah. So for every 9 data that was hit, and so obviously if a 9 darter was going to happen, they were cheering every dart in, you know,
because
what I mean?
they've got a chance.
They got a chance for 60K, and obviously I hit one, and I didn't even get a thank you from the guy in the crowd. That one, really? I was like, not even a private message, or if he has, I've probably deleted it. I don't know, but
nothing came through.
No, I was like, I'm still waiting for a beer.
I'd be sending you a paragraph if that was me.
Yeah,
that's unreal. So thank you for hitting the 9 darter, because it's actually a great cause.
Yeah.
We had my dad on the show a while ago, and he actually had prostate cancer, and he's gotten over it, and he's all good now. But it is a good cause, and good that Paddy Power were doing something good there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just on that 9 darter, that was unreal. I remember I was at one of my mates' places, and then as we were leaving, because it was at night here in Perth when it happened, and we were both watching on our phones, and we were about to leave our mate's place, and I'm in my car, and Jared, he's in his car, and we both watched it at the same time as we were about to leave. Wind down the windows. See what Damon just did? That was unreal. Like, that was sick. And then unfortunately, you didn't get the result you wanted, but Woodhouse came strong in the second half of that game, didn't he?
Yeah, I got to 3-1 up after hitting the 9. Things were still going, things were still happening. Great, yeah. And then we had that last break, and I remember, and I went off stage, and I just sat there, and I was like, all right, just calm down. This is it. Let's get it done. One more to go. Come on, and talking myself into it. Let's go. Let's do it. Right. And I sat down, and I just really G'd myself up to, all right, let's get it. So then I went back out there and then started, and things were just flat. Like, instead of, there was no real, I don't want to say, there was no, I don't want to say hunger, because there's always hunger. I always want to win. But then I think I tried to force the effort rather than the effort was, I felt flat. I felt drained. I felt I was like, I feel like it's a learning curve there for myself, which I should have known. I should have known to stay on stage, keep that going, keep throwing darts. Not leave and think about it and do it, because that just flattened me, that stuffed me, and I just went out flat, and I was just like, there was nothing, and there was no urgency, and then he just got another one. I'm like, all good, it's gonna happen, and just kept thinking it's gonna happen when it didn't happen, and I'm like, what an idiot. I was really gutted. I was, because I'd give it back to win the game. The 9 darter. I'd go, because there's a lot on offer. That's just one leg of darts. But to be honest, I didn't think I would celebrate as much as I did, to be honest. I think, I know, right? But like, I think the worst is because when I was practicing with Jim and a few other players and stuff like that, I talked about it a bit and going, just all you gotta do is hit one, and then like, they're not just giving out just for one person. Like, you could hit 2 or 3 9 darters, and it's like, this is insane. I don't think they realise how much that 9 darters could be hit. Like, and there could have been. So I think they're talking about it and missing it in my first game by like whatever. And then I went home and then I practiced I did practice double 12 a lot. Because that's how I missed. And then I even hit a 9 darter in practice, and to come back and then hit one. That's why I think I've just gone, ripper.
That was like the high. Yeah, you hit early.
I was like, it's good, but I mean, there's not too many players that hit a 9 on the main stage. So sure. You know what I mean. You got to take the positives, and that's pretty much what I looked at. And I just looked at the other as the learning curve, and I know what I have to do, and what needs to happen. So, but like I say, it's things like that get recognised, that will get put on the media back here. People can, going, what do you mean? He just got this much for that match? Like, what? Like, people are spinning out, and so hopefully, it builds more interest, and hopefully the game grows a bit. But it all starts with obviously, it always starts with the younger generation, doesn't it? And there are some things going around at the moment. It's called Bullseye for Maths. So that sort of thing's just starting, where they've got it in schools, especially over there. They've got it in schools, and because you can make a career over there, so it is more easier to have it. So they might, I don't know, bring something like that in the schools here. Then maybe someone might take it up 1 or 2, 3.
And what is that? Bullseye for Maths.
It just goes to show so it's just maths and showing you how to learn with a dartboard.
Okay.
Nice. Because it's it's just a 3 times table, really, isn't it? So then and then people can start learning numbers and subcontracting is very easy once you learn dart maths.
Yeah.
It's very easy and people pick that up. I've done some stuff over there with the kids and the maths over there. And some of the kids already. Oh yeah, no, that's 51. Yeah, that's 50. Take that. And they already know. It's like, oh wow, I wouldn't have known that at 7 or 6 or you know what I mean. It's insane.
It's actually a good way to learn, isn't
it?
it?
100%. Yeah,
you play and learn addition, subtraction, and timesing as well.
Over here we were just good at the 6 times tables because of footy.
You just
nail that one.
Yeah. 7 goals.
Kill it.
That's 42.
What are some of your goals for this year? So 2025. Do you have any goals? Anywhere you want to be? Where you see yourself?
So I haven't written them down yet. I always write just some small goals, I guess. I put like high ones up there, and then I'll put some that you'd say realistic or not really. They're in the realms I could complete that within the first 6 months or something like that. Like that's definitely a possibility.
You got shoot for the stars, and then achievable.
Yeah. And then the other ones that I'm more stick focused to is ones that I can control.
Okay.
So when I go, because I do a lot of hotel hopping and a lot of traveling and a lot of that. All right, food. That's a big cause. All right, so I'll make sure I'm picking the right choices all the time. And probably not all the time because sometimes I don't mind a sneaky burger. You know what I mean? Have a little something here or there, but not all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So breakfast, so easy to just sip into bacon, sausage, eggs, and all that, and just like all the bad stuff. Pretty much, so easy to do. All right, just eggs on toast, or you know what I mean? Chuck some salad in there and stuff like that. So just minor things like that. So if I can do that. Fitness, just make sure I'm still going for a bit of cardio here and there. When I go away, take my running gear and just go for a half an hour. Yeah. And then it's half an hour out of my day, easy peasy. Just small things like that. And then I look at my game being like positive body language. Yeah. Keep that on stage. Make your stage presence heard. Make like you're the big dog on stage. Right, make the other guy feel small. You don't want him to feel comfortable. So do your thing, be comfortable. You know what I mean. Don't try and change things for that, and just little things like that. It's they're the goals that I really look forward to because if and then if you're feeling good and you're looking good and you're gonna play good, like that's the motto sort of there. You know what I mean?
It's like
that's
a snowball.
Yeah,
one good thing happens, another good one.
Yeah, positivity breeds positivity.
Yeah, I like that. This actually leads on to a question that we got sent in from one of our mates, Jared, who watched the 9 Data with me. He said he wants to know who has the most intimidating presence on stage, and do you feel that? Do you feel their aura? Is there anyone that you go on stage with and you just have this feeling of, I don't know, their power or their presence?
Yeah, there's before maybe.
Yep.
Because you are playing Michael Van Gerwen on stage. You are playing him. Oh, he was world number 1, world champion, rah, and you're coming up against him and you're like, all right, you got to play good here, rah, 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 and then you get that in your mind. And a lot of players do, I'd like to think that I turned up all the time when it came a big name because you are thinking of that, you're playing a named player and it's like, oh, yeah. But I think I think Gezi might have been one at that time as well at the start when he was cruising, he was cooking and I think you just know what to expect from him. You know that he's going to scream and carry on and try and give it large every 180 and every leg and whatever. And so because you already thought about that and you knew that was going to happen and you try to prepare yourself for it, but then it happens and then you're like, you're waiting for that all the time. You know what I mean? Rather than just going, who cares what he does? Just do your game and then wipe him off the board and just, get on with your own. And so all that's really... I think for a lot of players that's been in the game for a while, that fear stuff really it's out the window now because you have got even still you got a lot of players coming through that are still fresh and they're doing well, especially the young generation. They're just no fear factor whatsoever, going well I can do that, and then they beat these guys that have been on tour for ages and it's like he's been on tour for ages. It's just. I think that sort of stuff is gone in a lot of players, but there's still players that probably. That fear that, but for myself, no, I don't. No, I get on and try and do my own thing, and like I said, with the small goals that I have, that's what I try and,
That's a part of it, controlling the stage presence.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Not letting the moment overwhelm.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Nice.
You wear glasses, right? I wear glasses as well, but I wear contact lenses. Have you ever considered contact lenses?
Yeah, I have tried them.
Yeah.
They're just annoying.
Yeah.
Every time, like, I found that I would look left and then back again, and it'd feel like it would take time to adjust straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it'd only be like a split second or something, but it was just so annoying.
Yeah.
And because I'm pretty blind, or I've got them shaven down as much as I can, and they are thick still. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've just worn glasses pretty much forever. But I was meant to wear them forever, but as a kid, they weren't cool back then, were they?
You don't want to wear them.
Where kids wearing glasses now is probably like a cool thing. I don't know, but yeah, I did, and because I played a lot of, I don't know, I played a lot of sport as well, so I didn't really bother. Like, I'm not, I'd rather just sit there and squint a little, like where.
Handlebar mustache. When did that come along, and why did it come along? And do you prefer that to the clean cut look?
Yeah. So last 2 Novembers ago, obviously, I did Movember, right? And I was like, what am I going to do here? And so I was like, all right, I'll do the handlebars. And so, and I raised over the last 2 years, I've raised nearly £7,000 or something like that. So, and that's not really going above and beyond and promoting the hell out of it and whatever. All I did was put on a couple of things that people could win a set of darts and a signed shirt and stuff like that as well, you know, for something. And I just thought, you know what, obviously it's for Movember, which is like men's health, pretty much men's health, mental health, and, you know, cancer and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, for something that I can do that's so small, and yet I can raise that sort of money just for doing, like, just having a shave. Like, why wouldn't I do something like that? And just, so I was like, so I'm right into that. And then I did that again, but when I did it, November, and then at the end of November, and going, maybe I might keep this, you know what I mean?
And then just run with it,
Yeah, so my missus hated facial hair, and so she's like, nah, you walk ahead of me, and so she wasn't keen. And then once I kept it, and then I was like, I'll keep it for the Worlds as well. You know, I'll keep it for a bit there and see whatever. And then people, I don't know, started like relating to it and going, and then I was like, and then the missus going, actually, I think I like it. Like, it looks, to shave it off, and I shaved it off. When did I shave it off? I shaved it off whenever anyway. And she goes, I don't know if I recognise you like with it off anymore. Like, you look very different. So like, so she was on board with it. I was like, no, we'll just keep it then. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it just brings another part of the character. And then you see some people in the crowd now, and they've got the fake ones on and stuff like that. And
it all adds to that stage presence that you're talking about.
So he's the guy with the handlebar moustache. And so,
Yeah.
Just for, there will be some listeners that will listen to this that are young darts players. Do you have any advice for them? What should they be doing? And just any tips, I guess, for young darts players?
Yeah, it's all, at the end of the day, it's like anything. What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But when it comes to technical stuff or whatever, you're best going to, like, go to a juniors day, or I'm pretty sure they got them. I don't think it takes too much to look around, and they just have under 18s. And they do, you know, a bit of coaching there, just the basics and pretty much what you should be doing and that. But anyone that's getting into that's all I would really suggest is getting into there, because everyone's got their own personal style, how they hold it, how they think, and you know, you don't want to change everyone to the same because it's not comfortable. That's all. Whatever feels comfortable. And that's what you go with. Nice. However you throw and that feels comfortable, that's what you go with. There might be only little tweaks here and there, but that's when you go to when you're involved with other people throwing darts, and that's been throwing darts for years, and they'll give you the tips, and it's what you want to take in pretty much. So that's where I would go with that. Or I know that over in the UK, people there are dedicated coaching for darts and stuff like that, and you know, past players and people like that, and you know, and they pay money to go do that. So it's depends how serious you want to take it, isn't it? But at the end of the day, darts is there forever. You could play at any age. So I really suggest playing other sports while you're still young, doing other things while you're still young, and it's all about so darts, great if you're really good and you are young and you want to pursue that, great. But at the end of the day, darts isn't be all end all, and darts is going to be there forever.
Yeah.
So
are there specific markers that you hit and you thought I could be a pro? Like, is it winning tournaments? Is it hitting actually being able to hit a 9 data? Were there specific moments where you thought, oh, maybe I am good enough?
No, that was the moment when I decided to do the Australian tour.
Yeah. So it's competition when you're actually beating people.
Yeah. So it probably all stems from like the having. I played a lot of local comps, obviously, and I played a lot of my weeknight comps and stuff. So I wanted to be the best there and the best there and the best. So maybe from year on year, I did get better and better every year. Yeah. Every season I got better, and it probably stemmed back from there. And just going, I'm good enough to play here. Oh, I'm good enough to play here. And then now I want to win this and I want to win that. And once I got to that sort of, I did like sort of stagnate, obviously, because darts wasn't the main thing for myself, but I always still done my best. And I played like one night a week, say, and I was like, all right, I want to be the most 180s. I want to be the 100, the highest average. And I want to win the singles and I want to, do all that. So I still had them goals then. But to be professional was the turning curve was doing the Australian circuit, making sure I'm number one. Yeah. And then that way, all right, now I'll give it a crack over there. Yeah, I'm worthy of it here. Now I've got to be worthy of it there. Yeah. So,
I just wanted to talk about the Premier League. So obviously 8 players get selected to play in the Premier League. You're ranked 8th. What are your views on how the selection process is and stuff like that?
Yeah, look, I've always said from the start that it's never been the goal, darts, to be Premier League. The goal is always, you look at the main rankings, you want to get as high as you can in there, you want to win the big tournaments and stuff like that. And to get into Premier League, I've felt like I'm one of these guys that will have to deserve my spot, if that makes sense. So the only way that really happens is if you're top 4, you're pretty much guaranteed. That's the only guarantee. The other guarantees isn't, like, you could win a big tournament, the major or whatever, you still might not get picked because you're not in the top 4. Where a good 80 to 90% chance that you should probably get picked because you have, like, not many people win the big ones all the time. But along with the winning a big one, to get picked, if you did, and say you were number 5 in the world and you won a big one, then you're probably 95 to 100% chance going to be picked because you've got the backing of the big one, not just winning a big one outright and you're still not in the rankings of top 10 or something. And it's like, well, you might have just got away with one. Hey, how are you going to go and all the rest? So that's how sort of, and I'm not sure exactly who picks it, but it's the big guys, isn't it, at the end of the day? So, and being UK-based events all the time, maybe they just didn't feel it was right, or it's not my time. Even though I've been steady, but I've not won a big one, or I've not made the final of a big one, or consecutive semis all the time, or something like that. So I haven't, and on TV, and I think that's probably the biggest matter for Premier League is all the big TV events. You need to do well. If you're not doing I've lost a few games there where I've averaged 100 first round, lost. Well, that's it. That's done. You know what I mean? I played really well. I probably could have beat 70% of the other players in the comp, but because I played this one guy that's played really well as well, that's what you get dealt at the end of the day. So, exactly. It's not as if, you probably could have put another, outside the top 4, you probably could have put a different 4 in there, and you'd probably still get the same outcome. You still got, all those tickets are pretty much sold. But like I said, it's UK based, so it's hard. It would have been nice, and there probably would have been a good case for me to shoehorn me in there and start getting. Oh, there's an Australian on the darts now, but how many is there? And then maybe it might have generated a bit more interest, but it would have been hard because it's still hard because 7 o'clock at night, which is 2-3 in the morning here or earlier. How many Aussies are actually getting up just to watch a thing on a Thursday night or a Friday morning? You know what I mean? They got to go to work and stuff, so it's hard to. That's why I think I have to deserve my spot really, and that way I'll probably feel more self-accomplished as well, getting it that way. Rather than. We'll pick him because he's got a good walk on, or he's still, he is a bit of a larrikin, or he is Australian, or just for promotion. And it's like, well, they probably just didn't think I was ready for it. I'm not too sure. So
it's a great way to look.
I didn't get an explanation anyway. So these are just my thoughts and my opinion. I would have loved a phone call to say, mate, we didn't pick you because of this. I'll be like, fair enough. But I don't know. Maybe I'm still waiting for it.
Maybe it's on the way.
It's still going.
Nice. Just on the Premier League, you support a team in the actual English Premier League.
Yeah.
What is that team?
So Forest.
And what a great season they're having.
Oh, giddy up.
How good.
Oh, crazy. And the only reason I follow them is like when I first moved over, I was in like the Nottingham area, the Derby Nottingham area.
So naturally.
Yeah. So we went to I didn't even follow soccer at all, football.
Yeah.
I didn't follow it at all. I couldn't tell you when I first got there. But when I went there, and then when we got our first place, and when we did get our first place, next door was a pub that I ended up playing a comp at that I didn't even realise until we got the place going. I played here before. I went in there, and sure enough, it was a place, and all the people in there, and I knew the bar dude who owns the place there, and that's where I went to throw and practice a lot as well. And they were all Forest people in there. And so I ended up watching them getting promoted from the Championships League. I watched them, so I had that connection straight away with they're the first team. But I didn't side with the team straight away because I was like, oh, this is crap. From here, you think that...
It's just slow, a bit boring.
Yeah, this is crap. Obviously when you're watching AFL and you're like, it's all men. But then when on there, but football is it's the world sport, isn't it? So, and that's all that everyone talks about. So I'm like, well, how am I going to get on talks with this without, I've got to get involved.
Anything,
Otherwise, because everyone's having conversations. It's all about football everywhere. Yeah. I'm like, oh, right, here we go. So what I did, I ended up getting on the fantasy.
Fantasy
nice. The FPL.
FPL, yeah.
And once I'd done that, that's this player, that player, rah. And then I started knowing who plays for who and what the players and who's good, who's not. And then I started being in the talks of people going, rah. And so sure enough, that's how I got about that. And so I've got my FPL team and happy days. And then then I kept getting asked all the time. That's right, I kept getting asked, oh, who you follow? You got to follow someone. You can't be right. And I was like, mate, hopefully my FPL team does well. That's all I care about. It's all about the points. And who am I captaining and all that. So, and then I just got sick of it. And I was just like, all right, I'll pick a team. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to pick a big club. I'm going with Forest. And, we nearly got relegated there for a bit and lost points and still didn't get relegated. I was like, good team. And so I was like, just stick with, I could have easily just gone Liverpool or City or something. I was like, no, we'll go. Yeah, we'll go Forest and
go for a battling team. And now reaping the rewards a little bit.
Yeah, crazy. I don't think a lot of people had them up there. That's for sure.
It's crazy.
So we got a good defence line and just not much possession on the ball, but yet when we get the ball, tend to do a lot.
Make it happen.
Yes, taking your chances really. So,
that's been great. 3 more questions and then we'll wrap this up. Just want to quickly talk about Luke Littler. So obviously he is probably the reason why I started watching darts, just because he came on the scene as a 16-year-old, made the World Champs final, hit a 9-darter in the final. It was pretty incredible. What are your thoughts on Luke? And do you think that amongst the group, not saying you, do you think there was any jealousy from some of the guys that have been there and done it for so long? Or was it more so they're just in awe of this talent?
Yeah, so Luke Littler, he's just a young punk, isn't he? Yeah. He's a real young punk, stealing all our money, stealing our jobs. Nah, he's a good egg, eh? He just sticks to himself like a normal teenager, just wants to game. He does a lot of gaming, and just really good at darts. And it's just, I think, pretty much he's just been bred to be a dart player, pretty much. He's grown up throwing darts his whole life, and he's just... been a created monster in darts. So, fair play. But I don't want to say there's jealousy. I've not heard jealousy. I think a lot of people are like, oh, this is like, it's great. Like, you know what? All want to beat him. That's for sure. Everyone wants, when they play him, they want to play their best game and just, but he's settled in straight away. He's, it's good for the game, obviously, the exposure. Like I said, you guys are watching now. You know what I mean? So if he's creating that,
it's good for everyone.
Like all I hear is everyone's like dart sales and stuff. Going through the roof, like next level. Sponsorships that are coming on board now, and I'd like to think that the darts now, I'd like to say in the next year or two that the money's even going to go up again. And since I've been there, it's gone up like 2 or 3 times already. So never long having someone like him come along and they want to promote it again and like what a time to be a dart player, you know what I mean? So, you know what? And the thing is, the only thing for him, I'd like to think he's probably lost that being his age as a normal person.
So he can't being a regular teenager.
So over there, he can't, like when he turns 18, I think he turns 18 soon or whatever. He can't just go to the pub, or he can't just go nightclubbing, or
and
he
for
can't
the rest of his life.
Yeah, so it's a bit hard for. So he's sort of lost that, I would imagine. But I'm not sure if he's that sort. I don't think he's that sort of guy anyway. I think he likes to, like I said, he likes to game and he likes to do his own thing and he does just hang. He's still got his mates as well. Nice. So I'm not sure about that side of things, but. Yeah, I spoke to him before he got to that sort of level as well. I played him online and did some things there, and obviously everyone in the dart scene knew that he was a crazy talent, and it was just a matter of time. But outside of it, it probably looks like it's just bang. Who's this kid? Like,
he's been
crazy.
Around just dominating juniors, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's it. So he's but no, he's a credit to the sport, and he's promoted it massively. And if just stick that attention with him and whatever, and let us just reap the rewards pretty much at the end of the day. So.
That's elite.
How long do you think that you'll play darts for? Do you have like a set age, or is it an achievement, or is it just based off how you're feeling? Take it season by season.
Yeah, things are changing. It's so hard. At the start, we were like 10 years.
Nice.
Let's give it 10 years. That seems like a long time. Yep. That seems 5 years deep now, and it's like you're still wanting to get where you want to get to, and it's like that's 5 years. So how's it going to be in another 5 years? And And every time we come back, it's getting harder and harder to want to come back, isn't it? It's just the more we stay there, the harder it is coming back. Like, because I know that it's like if we did come back, like what are we gonna do? Like, imagine I have enough money, but like I don't need to work or whatever. Like, I'll come back here, and the only thing here is obviously family. Yeah, that's the biggest, is it, at the end of the day? So that's pretty much so. But if it's just family that we're worried about coming back, and it's not so much the lifestyle, or if we've adapted that, because over there lifestyle for traveling's a big thing, like that what we want to do, because like I said, we don't have kids and stuff, so the thing for us is to let's just go here. So we just book drop things, let's book a trip and we're off. And like I said, over there 2-hour flight, you're in here, hour flight, you're there. So it's just the easy access,
not
there.
20 hours from
here. So that, I think we're just playing it by ear, and the way the darts is going, if it's hard to turn away from guaranteed money as well. So when you're in the rankings and you're high up, you got sponsorships, you're invited already to the big tournaments and stuff. So if the money keeps going up, it's like, without throwing a dart and just going, how do I turn away?
Yeah, why would you?
That much? And I think it will get to that time where it would be like, all right, one more year. Just one more year. And then, that's like whatever, a few $100,000 or something going, just one more. But I think it's more or less, because this is more of my lifestyle, my dream, my goings, it's the missus is sacrificing more, isn't it? So it'll be on her, I think.
Nice.
Like if she's sacrificed this many years or whatever, like if she was to say, I hate it here now, I don't want to live here, I want to move back to Australia, fine. Let's go. Like that, I'd be 100%. Like, we've sacrificed a lot, even enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'd be totally on board. That's what I would do. But I would come back here, and maybe if I'm still in the rankings or whatever, I might just fly back every now and again and play the major tournaments, or that's a possibility. But at the moment, that's not what it's looking at. It's looking at least we're going to be here for another whatever years. You don't know what life throws at you at the end of the day, so it could all go pear shaped, and I could be done within 2 years. That's on the other side of the coin as well. So, I mean, touch wood. I hope that doesn't happen. That's for sure. So
it's good you found the wood there. We're on a glass table. You got there. All right, and then last question, we ask all of our guests the exact same question, and we get a variety of answers. When it's all said and done, how would you like to be remembered? It's pretty deep, isn't it?
Well, I don't want to be remembered as the guy who just only hit a 9 darter at the world. That's for sure. At the moment, that's how it is at the moment.
This is how you want to be remembered as a darts player and as a person as well.
Yeah. Look, So for both, as a dart player, I'd like to take that token of being, that was our best Australian dart guy.
Yeah.
That was our best, you know what I mean, until someone could probably overtake me or, you know what I mean. But at the moment, it's Simon. He's the token Australian guy. He looks like the Australian guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, it'd be great to be known as that, I'd imagine, or even just to win a world title. That would be massive, because not everyone wins that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it didn't happen that way, at least I know like I've made a great living throwing darts and that, which is easy peasy compared to roofing on 40-degree heat here. Yeah. But as a person, I do a lot of me and the missus do a lot of charity as well. So over there, people wouldn't recognise or wouldn't know because I do keep anonymous on a lot of things where I put stuff and what do I do and stuff. So and I don't promote it. I don't because I don't not searching for recognition, and I don't need the I did do this and rah rah rah. But so I'll just to be put down, as people would know, going, he helped us do this. He's helped these people. He's done and that's the people that talk about it amongst themselves, going, it was him, and he done this for me. So just helping people that way, where I'm in that position too. You know what I mean? I'm probably more of a bigger figure over there than I am here, obviously, because it's still niche. But over there, I'm more of a figure because I'm a top dart player. So I'd get noticed more, and I'd think, and I get every time I get a lot of I'm doing charity work, I'm doing this, and so, and then half the time it's people probably just looking for free stuff, and that's where I'm like, nah. So I do it on my own account, who I think deserves what, or not deserves, but like
where you want to,
where I want to contribute, where
exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I do like I said, I'll just keep this Movember going. That's something so small that I can keep doing, and other people are donating and stuff like that as well. So it's great to give back, and it just, I don't know, you feel so much better for it as well. You've done you're playing your part in the role in the world as well. So something like that.
That's awesome, mate. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Damon. Also, guys, make sure to check out our YouTube video. We're about to play Damon in darts. Hopefully we can get the job done.
Game, eh?
Yeah, I think it'll be real quick, but we'll give it our best go for a bunch of rookies. But thanks again for coming on and giving us the time, mate. We really appreciate it. And good luck for the year ahead.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers for having me on. Thanks.